If you're considering the Isha Hatha Yoga Teacher training, maybe you've heard it's intense and you've already signed up, or maybe you're just searching for honest, grounded guidance before taking that leap. You're in the right place. Today, I've brought together three incredible individuals, all certified Isha Hatha Yoga teachers who have lived this transformative experience firsthand. They'll share their unfiltered perspective on the challenges, the immense growth, and the profound shifts that await you on this path. Their experiences will not only demystify the training but also provide the practical and spiritual guidance you need to prepare for this life-altering commitment. Let's jump into the first powerful sharing with Jahan.
By the end of the ashram, the end of the training, I was in tears. I just didn't want to leave. I said, no, I can't leave this place. Best 6 months of my life so far, for sure. I live in London and I work in digital marketing, so Google, Facebook ads, stuff like that. But I'm also Isha Hatha Yoga Teacher. I just saw that they were teaching people how to train people how to become Hatha Yoga teachers, and I didn't even want to teach. I wanted Sadhanapada. I just wanted to do sadhana in the ashram. But I thought if I do teacher training, at least someone would check my technique and correct me every day. So I thought this will be fun. And I just saved my money, quit my job, went to the ashram. For the first 2 days, I was thinking, what am I doing here? This is insane. I was so angry at myself for being here. And then I remember that was the beginning. By the end of the ashram, the end of the training, I was in tears. I just didn't want to leave. I said, no, I can't leave this place. Even now, every day I question myself. Maybe I should have gone full time and stayed in India. So with the ashram, I'd say it was in the training at least, it's much more physically intense than how I was living before. Much more. First of all, I could barely sit down on the floor cross-legged. That was the first battle. I was probably doing around 9 hours of sadhana a day because I learned shunya during the training, so I added that as well. Then I was doing Hatha Yoga twice a day. And I was very content because we had Surya Shakti, we had Angamardana. It's a very physically, I wasn't building muscle. I lost 15 kilograms of weight when I was there. A lot of that muscle. So I became much slimmer, but internally, I didn't feel as if I was lacking for physical activity at all. If anything, it was much more physically active because from morning to night, you're constantly in some activity, and there's a lot going on. You have to be very focused. I mean, I would be asleep at 12 sometimes, up at 4, so I wasn't sleeping much. I should have been sleeping at 10, but you end up talking to your roommate or the fact that I've been given the privilege to help give it to others it's fantastic. And it's like it's a practice in itself to teach. You have to be so aware of so many things. You have to maintain so much integrity. You can't, because I'm still dealing with my insecurities, my compulsions. I can't pass this on. I have to only transmit the practice and that's it. And this is you have to ensure this utter integrity during those few hours that weekend that you're managing a program. So I'm very grateful that I've been given so many opportunities to teach. So I'm great, and it's been great. But it was never my intention. So it just happened like this all the time.
I was balancing that with job that you have.
Yeah, it depends. It can either be weekends or it can be after work in the evening. So maybe 3 days in a row after work, or it can be weekend, morning, evening, morning, evening. So it just depends on or if it's a longer program, if they send you out somewhere, then you book some time off work. That is hard. Yeah, it is hard, but because it's not about you, somehow you get more energy. I think if I was doing it for me, then I would probably be more tired. But because it's about these X, Y amount, whatever many people, it depends on the people on that particular program. For that sequence of program, they're the priority, and somehow you get. I feel my experience, you get so much more energy. You're not as tired. Whereas if I was doing something for myself, I may struggle a bit more.
So your experience of the teacher's training in one word.
No, it's fun. I loved it. It was great. I don't have one word. It's just amazing.
I'll take the word fun.
It's very
pure
hard.
Joy, pure joy.
Very, very intense, but I loved every single. The minute the alarm was up, I was up 4 a.m., whatever, just jumping up. Loved it. Best 6 months of my life so far, for sure.
Is there anything else that comes up for you, or that you feel like people should know who might be thinking to join the teachers training, or
Just with teachers training, I'd say really have a think. Do you want to experience the ashram and sadhana, or do you really want to transmit this? I think there are differences. I think with Sadhanapada, I never had Sadhanapada as an option when I was there. I think now that you have both these options, I think someone should really sit down and think what it is that they want to do, because I think it's a big commitment to teach. That's the one thing. But if you are going for it, I'd say the teaching itself is phenomenal. Even if you never teach a program, just the experience you go through is out of this world. You understand that they'll explain so much about the nuances and sciences and behind the scenes about how the yoga practices work. And you'll make friends for life, and you have very deep experiences as well. And in terms of yoga itself, there's nothing I wouldn't trade this for anything. I mean, to have the ability that no matter where you are in the world, no matter what life throws at you, you can decide how you want to be. And if not fully, at least to some extent, you can decide how your experience of life is. I think there's no greater privilege or freedom. And if you want to transmit that to others, then it goes back to the circle of teaching, because then you can help pass that on. But you don't have to be a teacher. Even just posting all you're doing on Instagram. There will be, as it grows, there'll be hundreds of people that might discover just Isha Kriya just by seeing a post. I think there are so many ways teaching is not the only way to spread spirituality. There are many, many ways, many tools, many different skill sets.
All right, this gives you a glimpse of the emotional depth, but Jahan also notes how physically intense it was. Next, let's jump into Sunaina Rana's sharing. A classical Hatha Yoga teacher, she completed her Isha Hatha Yoga Teacher training in 2015 and then continued as a staff member at the Rejuvenation Center, teaching various health and disease-oriented programs. With her, you can see or learn that there are different paths after the training. So let's hear her sharing.
After my teacher training, which was 5 months, we were doing 7-8 hours of yoga every day for 21 weeks, no Sunday off. It was another ball game altogether, The way all of us participants looked the first day and on the last day was so different. I remember this so clearly, even when you look at pictures. All of us had a huge transformation, a huge shift. So for me, after that, I felt like, I didn't want to, after I did my Samyama, I was clear I don't want to do my master's. So I continued as a staff at the Rejuvenation Center where I was teaching and I was getting paid. We had different health programs there or disease-oriented programs. So we as teachers were helping the teaching aspect of it. So spending long periods of time in ashram has always been very, very intense for me. It's always been very fast, because I've spent long periods of time at the ashram and then I've come out and spent long periods of time outside. I can clearly see that there's a huge shift in just the way you experience life or the way your mind functions, emotions function. There's such a huge difference. It's unbelievable. I think when you're outside, you can control things more, you can control your life in the sense, it's not as like, when I'm in the ashram, I feel like I'm just like in the water and now I just have to swim, somehow. I feel like a process has started and you don't understand it quite literally. You just don't understand it because you have just such different ups and downs of your emotions and just the way your sadhana is. It gets so intense and exaggerated and, so people ask me why do you keep going back, like if it's so challenging or people who've been to the ashram. But, I think each one of us know where we stand in terms of stability, balance, So I feel like depending on where you want to reach, accordingly, you decide how you want to take your life forward. So accordingly, you plan whether you want to be in the ashram or sometimes, people don't feel the need and then they go out. So For me, ashram has been, I think it's been very fast.
Joining Jahan and Sunaina and sharing their journey is Rushik Patel. One thing that I really love, one thing that I think you will love about Rushik's sharing, which is coming up next, is that how he talks about not just the physical preparation, which is important, and he speaks about it, but also about how you can prepare yourself in terms of your skills, because the training is going to teach you how to be able to transmit the science of yoga, but the training is not necessarily going to give you all the tools you need to actually go out into the world and market yourself as a teacher or be that teacher, or do things like making videos. Maybe you're not the kind of person who likes to do that, so maybe you, during the training, you can find others whom you can collaborate with, and so one person can be in front of the camera, one person can be the one who's taking the videos and editing it, packaging it, one person is at the back end of it, structuring it, coming up with the content, the scheduling the content calendar. There's so many things which are involved. This is a business, right? Unless you become a teacher that is a foundation teacher, which means that you are going to be a volunteer for Isha Foundation and you're going to go out and teach as a teacher through the foundation. Or the other option is to be an independent teacher, so you still have the certificate from the foundation, but now the foundation is not giving you the classes, so you have to figure out how you're going to draw in people and where you're going to conduct these classes, how you're going to pay these venues, or is there someone who will donate it to you? There are many paths. Don't limit yourself in terms of thinking, oh, I don't have such resources, I can't do this, I can't do that. Just once you go to the training, you'll meet a lot of people. Keep your mind open, talk to them, exchange details, informations, backgrounds, see what you can do together. And who knows, by the end of the training, you might really have that urge to make it happen. And then that's the thing that happens to a lot of teachers, is that because of not having the skills, because of not having the right people around you, you kind of lose that momentum. And if you don't act upon the vision, act upon the desire, let's say, in the first 6 to 9 months, what happens then is that momentum just kind of moves away and more things come in your way. The longer you wait, the longer you postpone it, the more difficult it will become. So some of us also, despite of going through the training and everything, we still carry certain memories, certain karma with us, which we might not have been able to release fully during the training, and that might come up after going out, leaving the ashram. Many things came up for me, even though I went through a longer period of sadhana than the Hatha Yoga teachers. I went through 9 months of sadhana and they go through 5 months. And despite of going through 9 months of intense sadhana, and I would say, at least as much practices as they did, maybe not Hatha Yoga, but in terms of the hours of practices and the intensity, how I conducted myself during this time, I would say it was at least as intensive as the Hatha Yoga Teacher's training. So despite of that, I still had a lot of obstacles, a lot of things come up after going back home. It's not like everything was done and fixed. No, it's maybe for some, it didn't happen for me. That's all I can say. And for most people that I know, it's still an ongoing process. So it helps to have people around you who support you in your vision, and have tools and have skills that will help to make this vision happen. So let's go into Rushik's final sharing.
It has that reputation. Teacher training has that reputation that it's like a very challenging program at many levels. So fortunately, I always had guidance of other teachers. Like I remember in January when my interview got scheduled, I told this to one of the teacher and he immediately said that one thing you need to start doing right away is that you do all three practices, Angamardana, Surikriya and Yogasanas, okay, daily. This will prepare you at the physical level because you're going to take a lot of physical and mental beating during the training. If you are physically ready for it, then the mental beating, you can take it properly. So from January onwards, I started doing it and I didn't want to do it. Like that whole physical barrier was there. It's the same thing you have to do. So I did it, however, but it was good that I started preparing at that time because imagine me starting Angamardana before the teacher training, then it would have taken some time to stabilize the system. Right now, I believe that it's stabilized to a good extent. So right now I'm at ashram, I'm seeing that working in my favor. That's one thing. The other is that life after teacher training. So this is one thing that I've observed that most people don't account for it because there is a leap of faith that they're taking. Right now, I just want to go through this program. Will I do full-time teaching? Will I do other things in life? I'm not sure of. And there is a good proportion of teachers who don't end up teaching after doing teacher training. So, because, I mean, I look at it as a boon in disguise that because I have a financial pressure on me in a way, I need to also see that after teacher training, if I want to do teaching full-time, how will I go about? So I used to contact teachers and see how they're doing, what they're doing, whatever ideas I have, to them. And I happened to connect with one teacher. His name is Dalbag. He's based out of Gurgaon. So he has a similar bent in terms of approaching how do you offer after teacher training. So Dalbag has 15 years of work experience, after which he did teacher training. And then he couldn't go back to his job like a lot of teachers because it's so not fulfilling. And he's doing teaching full time. So I've been in touch with him since January, where we're trying to build Sadhyog. So Sadhyog is the yoga enterprise that he has started, where we offer Isha Hatha Yoga practices, both offline and online. And I've been working how to take it to people because I have a marketing background, so I think I can leverage it in some extent. So I started working with him on a daily basis. So it's almost like if you see my call log, you will see a lot of Dilbagana. So we stay in touch almost on a daily basis. So we've grown. And my understanding definitely, so what happens is that once you come out of teacher training, there are all sorts of utopian ideas that you have because you have experienced something so profound that you think that, oh, if I just tell someone my experience, they will just want to learn it immediately, which is not how human psyche works. There are different ways in which people make decisions. So the whole exposure of working with Sadhyog and Dilbagana has helped me understand how people look at Isha Hatha Yoga practices and how we can reach to them, what could be the marketing channels that we can use, and those aspects. So at least I made a start before the teacher training starts, I would say. That I have a basic level understanding of how to start offering. So what I know is that the school prepares you in a complete way to conduct a class. Like it prepares you for every situation that you might face while conducting class. This is what multiple art yoga teachers have told. But to get people in your class, that part of the puzzle is something that I thought I should start working on it. I started doing it and I want more people to look at those aspects as well because after teacher training, people come out with a lot of excitement that, you want to take people. But then when they're conducting a class and people are not coming to them, it gets disappointing. And then you want to go back to your old ways of life.
One theme that runs through all these three stories, it's not just about flexibility or mastering asanas. It's about being willing to break down so something more authentic can rise in its place. The Isha Hatha Yoga Teacher training is a complete inner The Isha Hatha Yoga Teacher training is definitely something which is going to push you to the edge. But in doing so, it gives you a foundation that few other things in life can truly offer. Ultimately, these insights underscore that while the Isha Hatha Yoga Teacher training is incredibly demanding, it offers unparalleled personal growth and the profound privilege of connecting to an ancient classical tradition. The true freedom, as Jahan put it, is the ability to decide how you want to be, no matter what life throws at you. And of course, the opportunity to help pass that on to others. If you're still unsure about should you do it or not, or if you are doing it and are now feeling a little bit more comfortable with going for it, do let me know down in the comments below. What was your biggest takeaway from today's discussion? What resonated with you the most? Maybe the questions that you have. And if it's about the intensity, the transformation, the practicalities of becoming a teacher, drop it down below in the comments. I'll be reading it. I'll go through them. I'll see if I can bring other guests on who can answer these questions. I myself have not gone through the Isha Hatha Yoga Teacher training, but I did sign up and I was accepted. I went through the whole interview process, and if that's something that you would be interested to hear about, let me know. If you know someone who's considering the path of becoming a teacher, send this to them. It might be exactly what they need. If you want more unfiltered, honest guidance about spirituality, practices, and self-transformation, then make sure to join my newsletter, link below. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.